Hi, my name is Sam, and welcome to English Everyday Podcast. Today, we are learning English through a real-life story. The story of a man who grew up bullied and alone, moved to a new country with almost nothing, and went on to build some of the most revolutionary companies the world has ever seen. Today, we are talking about Elon Musk. By the end of this episode, you will know his story. From a difficult childhood in South Africa to rockets, electric cars, and changing the future. And you will learn 2 grammar rules straight from the story. So, let us begin. Elon Musk was born on June 28, 1971, in Pretoria, South Africa. From a very young age, he was different. He was deeply quiet and intensely focused. By the age of 9, he had read the entire encyclopedia. When he was 12, he wrote his own video game and sold it to a computer magazine for $500. But life was not easy. He was small, quiet, and badly bullied at school. At one point, a group of boys threw him down a flight of stairs and beat him so severely he had to go to hospital. His parents divorced when he was 8. Home life was painful. So Elon escaped into books, into science, into his own imagination. He did not just want to understand the world. He wanted to change it. At 17, he made a decision. He was going to leave South Africa and go to North America, where the biggest things were happening. He moved to Canada in 1989. He had almost no money. He worked on farms, he cleaned boilers and lumber mills, he took whatever work he could find. He earned a scholarship to university in Canada, then transferred to the University of Pennsylvania in the United States, studying economics and physics. In 1995, he was accepted into a PhD program at Stanford University in California. He lasted 2 days. He looked around and saw something that excited him far more than any doctorate. The internet was just beginning, and Elon believed it was going to change everything. He called his brother Kimball, and together they started a company called Zip2. They could not afford both an office and an apartment, so they slept in the office and showered at the local gym. They worked obsessively. In 1999, a company called Compaq bought Zip2 for over $300 million. Elon was 27 years old and now a multimillionaire. But he did not stop. He put his money into a new company called X.com, one of the first online banks in the world. X.com later merged with another startup and became something you almost certainly know. It became PayPal. In 2002, eBay bought PayPal for $1.5 billion. Elon's share was $180 million. He was 30 years old. Now here is where the story becomes truly remarkable. Most people, after that kind of success, would slow down, would be careful, would protect what they had. Elon Musk did the exact opposite. He took nearly all of his money and split it between 3 almost impossible goals. $100 million into a rocket company called SpaceX with the goal of sending humans to Mars. $70 million into an electric car company called Tesla to move the world away from fossil fuels. His friends thought he had lost his mind. Investors refused to back him. The car industry laughed at Tesla. Experts said a private rocket company could never succeed. And for a while, it seemed like they were right. SpaceX launched its first rocket in 2006. It crashed. Second launch in 2007, failed again. Third launch in 2008, failed again. Elon was running out of money. Tesla was in serious financial trouble. Both companies were near bankruptcy at the same time. He was going through a divorce. He was being mocked publicly. Everything he had built was close to collapse. But he did not walk away. He borrowed money from friends. He poured every last dollar into both companies. He told his team the next launch had to work. In September 2008, SpaceX launched its fourth rocket. It worked. It became the first privately built rocket to successfully reach orbit. NASA then awarded SpaceX a contract worth $1.6 billion. The company was saved. And days later, Tesla received a critical investment that saved that company too. From that moment, both companies exploded. Tesla released the Model S in 2012. Critics called it one of the greatest cars ever built. The world finally took electric vehicles seriously. SpaceX started landing their rockets back on Earth after launch and reusing them, completely changing the cost of space travel. In 2020, SpaceX launched 2 NASA astronauts to the International Space Station. The first time a private company had ever sent humans to space. Elon Musk became the richest person in the world. But what makes his story worth telling is not the money. It is the refusal to accept that something is impossible just because it has never been done before. He once said this, "When something is important enough, you do it even if the odds are not in your favor." 3 rockets failed. He launched a 4th. That is Elon Musk. And that is the attitude to bring to learning English. You will make mistakes. Sentences will come out wrong. That is not failure. That is the process. Keep launching. Now, let us learn 2 grammar rules from his story. Grammar rule number 1, the simple past tense. Every sentence in this story used the simple past tense. Was born, worked, failed, launched, became. We use the simple past for actions that started and finished in the past. Completed, done, over. For regular verbs, add ed to the end. Work becomes worked. Fail becomes failed. Launch becomes launched. But many common verbs are irregular and change completely. Here are the key ones from Elon's story. Go becomes went. He went to Canada at 17. Make becomes made. He made a decision to leave South Africa. Buy becomes bought. Compaq bought his company for $300 million. Sell becomes sold. He sold his video game at 12 years old. Become becomes became. He became the richest person in the world. Quick practice. I say present tense. You say simple past out loud. He goes to Canada. The answer is he went to Canada. He sells his company. The answer is he sold his company. He becomes a millionaire. The answer is he became a millionaire. He makes a decision. The answer is he made a decision. Excellent. That is grammar rule number 1. Now, grammar rule number 2, used to for past habits and past states. We use used to plus a base verb to talk about something that was true or happened regularly in the past, but is no longer true today. Listen to these sentences from Elon's story. He used to sleep in the office because he could not afford an apartment. He used to work on farms when he first arrived in Canada. He used to be badly bullied at school. People used to think private rockets were impossible. What makes used to powerful is that it always tells the listener things have changed. When you say he used to sleep in the office, people immediately understand he does not do that anymore. It carries the meaning of then versus now. This is different from would, which we studied in our last episode. Both describe past habits, But used to also describes past states, things that were simply true before but are not true anymore. For example, he used to be completely unknown. Now, he is one of the most famous people alive. That is a past state, not a habit. We use used to, not would. Let us practice. Repeat each sentence after me. He used to sleep in the office instead of renting an apartment. Repeat. He used to work on farms when he arrived in Canada. Repeat. People used to think electric cars could never succeed. Repeat. SpaceX used to lose every rocket it launched. Repeat. Quick practice. I say present tense. You change it to used to. He sleeps in the office. The answer is, he used to sleep in the office. People laugh at Tesla. The answer is, people used to laugh at Tesla. He is unknown. The answer is, he used to be unknown. Final review of both rules. Rule 1. Simple past tense. Add ed to regular verbs. Learn irregular verbs. Use for single completed actions in the past. Rule 2. Used to plus base verb. Use for habits, routines, or states from the past that are no longer true. It always shows that something has changed. You learned both rules through the story of one of the most extraordinary people alive today. That is a wrap for today's episode of English Everyday Podcast. If this episode helped you, please subscribe so you do not miss the next one. Drop a comment and tell me which part of Elon Musk's story inspired you the most. Until then, keep listening, keep learning, and always remember this. Every expert was once a beginner. I am Sam, and I will see you in the next episode.